before I start about Park Center, I've been really struck today, especially, about just the overlap of a lot of the things that I'm seeing in the order of service, and then, you know, directly in your, those fundamental faith statements. You know, a lot of these words and themes are to be found in our charter, especially this idea of love and acceptance. I'm excited to be here because, again, you know, I think hopefully as I go in and talk about the work that we're doing in the community, you're going to hear a lot of overlap with the kinds of things that you all care about and work for in this congregation. Park Center. Park Center started in 1984, so we've been around a long time. And one of the missions that is important to me is to make sure that as many people know about Park Center as possible. So again, I'm really happy to be able to talk to you all about that, because I had to guess no one's ever heard of this. It's most of the people, even in Nashville. And you know, I just think the work that we're doing is really important, and it's great to be able to kind of share that work. So again, it started in 1984, and it actually came about as I guess call it a merger between two sort of like-minded nonprofits in Nashville that were working in similar realms with individuals with mental illness, but different age groups that combined and started this nonprofit that started on Park Avenue in Nashville. I actually just learned this story about 2 weeks ago. But it started on Park Avenue, and that's how we got the name Park Center. So Park Center works with individuals with mental illness and co-occurring disorders. A lot of times the co-occurring disorders that we're working with is substance use disorder. Those two diagnoses have that tendency to go hand in hand. There's a lot of self-medication that goes along. So our mission is to offer pathways of independence for those individuals living with mental illness, to reclaim hope, to live, work, and thrive in their community. Our core values are being agents of hope. We show radical compassion, and we respect the differences of all of our members and all of our community. The radical compassion especially is something that I find really wonderful about our organization. You know, we don't care who you are, you know, what your background is, what you're dealing with. We value you as a human being and believe in your ability to be able to recover, live the best life you want with the right supports in place, and we're here to be that support. So how does that show up in our everyday work? So we have 7 different programs that we work on we work with our members on, and you'll hear me use the word members a lot. We don't have clients, we have members. They're members of our community, of our family, really. The first program that I'll just describe quickly is what Park Center started with, which is what's called psychosocial rehabilitation. You'll hear the word, like, it's our day program. The idea with psychosocial rehabilitation is community and belonging is key to recovery. It provides a space for individuals and our members to be able to come together. A lot of times, especially with mental illness, the stigma and everything associated with it, there's a tendency for people to kind of shrink away from community. It is antithetical to recovery, so we want to bring people together. It's a wonderful, of all the programs that I've seen, just the joy that's exuded by the individuals in that program is really contagious. I love it. So we bring the individuals together. It's really neat. If you were to come in, we use what's called a clubhouse model. So if you were to walk in our site in East Nashville is where psychosocial rehabilitation takes place. Aside from this, you wouldn't be able to tell a Park Center staff member from one of our members. It's important that, and we believe that individuals, we are here to support and help and guide and be there, but ultimately it's up to the individual, and we believe in the individual to kind of be in charge of their own recovery. And that's really the root of the psychosocial day program. So we have programs in there that we have people come in that do different therapies, like art therapy, music therapy, things like that. We have people that come in a lot that do like tutoring, things like how to use an iPhone, balance a checkbook, a lot of different things that we work with our members at. But the neat thing, what I really love about it is, again, the fact that the members members are in charge. So we have committees within that program of they're member driven. There's a media committee that will make movies that are shown. They have there's the information updates that are run. That's run by that committee. There's a hospitality committee. So if you were all interested in ever coming and visiting, I wouldn't give you the tour. I would welcome you, and we would go on a tour that was led by one of our members. We have a culinary committee. All of our members in that program get lunch served every day, and it's made by the members. So it offers that idea of responsibility, community, working together. Those little things that lead to recovery, which is really great. And you walk in there and it just exudes joy. So I don't work primarily out of that location, but I work over there once a week just to remind myself of why I'm doing this. So that's the psychosocial day program. The other program we have is, it's kind of what we're known for within our community, is housing services. We are actually the largest provider of housing for individuals living with mental illness in Middle Tennessee. We have approximately 27 housing units, over 100 housing locations, houses, single bedroom apartment buildings, and I want to say it's right around 125 units available that we're working with, and we have 2 houses that are about to be done, one in spring of next year and one in fall of next year, that are going to add 34 more units available. So, even with that, we're not even close to meeting the need. It's really sad how much it is, but we're doing the best we can to try to make sure that we're working with those individuals to help get them off the streets. One of the reasons I'm here is because of one of your members, Isa Herrera. So Isa works in another one of our programs that really starts a lot of what we do with the individuals we work with. It's street outreach, homeless outreach. So most of our members, at least at one point in their life, sometimes extended period, were homeless. So Isa, who's really leading the whole homeless outreach, will walk out to encampments, go out, work with individuals that are living on the streets, help get them the supplies that they need to survive, sleeping bags, propane tanks, things like that. But most importantly, she really helps individuals be able to start to get the benefits, like getting a birth certificate, all the little pieces of paper that you need for identification that most of these folks don't have, to be able to unlock the doors to get the support that they need to move forward. She's really like the first point of contact that kind of launches everything for them. The other part of that is what's called SOAR. SOAR is a program, it's a nationally recognized program. We're actually the #1 SOAR agency in the nation. We help individuals with that program get disability benefits. So there's a lot of criteria you can imagine. It's really, really hard to get that stuff. For any one of us probably, I know for me, let alone if I was living on the streets. So we are able to help get them the benefits, the disability benefits, that really unlocks the door for everything. The housing, a little bit of income that that they can use to be able to move forward. That's our homeless outreach. We have supported employment. That's the program that we offer in multiple counties, including in Clarksville. So we believe in work as something that's, it provides a level of dignity. There's a lot of things that come along with work, independence, all those things. It's also really hard. I don't know if anybody's looked for a job lately, but it's hard in general, let alone if you're really dealing with serious mental illness. So we have a coaching system that works to be able to talk to the individual about what they really love to do, what they want to do, and we help them be able to get those types of jobs. So it's not just like, hey, you want a job, just stick you in somewhere. That's not what this is. It's a coaching model that understands where they want to go, and then really helps them with things like interview skills, like writing resumes, driving to and from the interviews. But we also go long-term with the person. It's not about getting a job, it's about how can you get a job and how can you keep a job. So individuals that work with us, will work with you as long as you want. It could be the rest of your life if you want. And there's no charge stand on any of this. This is all grant funded, and no one pays for that support. We have a program called Peer Wellness. That program really came out of some work that we do with our members to understand kind of needs. Every year, Park Center does it's a member member survey, but then also a sort of community stakeholder survey. And we will sit down with our sort of community to understand what are we doing well, what can we be doing better, is there any programs out there that you would like to see that we aren't currently offering. Peer wellness came out of that directly, and this was from the members. One of the things I learned recently is I was like, just learning about all this, but on average, an individual living with serious mental illness will die 25 years earlier than that same person without mental illness, for a lot of different reasons, but the idea of the stigma, most of it comes from chronic illnesses that are preventable, and it's because it's not addressed. Peer wellness is designed directly to kind of combat that and shrink that down a little bit. The best part about peer wellness is the fact that it's led by what's called peer recovery coaches. You hear the word peer. So these are individuals with lived experience with substance use disorder and or mental illness that have been certified as peer recovery specialists, because there's a level of understanding and you can relate to someone if you have lived experience, and we found that really helps in this. So this program is designed so it works with smoking cessation, understanding blood pressure, nutrition, all the little things that, going to the doctor, regular dental hygiene checkups, why that's important, to again, try to, close that disparity a little bit. I mentioned before, substance use is a big issue with individuals living with mental illness. So we have substance use recovery as well. So we have two basically different programs, one intensive outpatient and then one outpatient. And basically the way to think about this is if someone is like in active addiction and they go to like a residential program. When they come out of that, it's not a good idea to just have them say, okay, well, congratulations, you've come out, good luck, and hopefully we don't see you back. So these programs are designed to be step-down programs from those. So anyone coming out, we work a lot with like psych hospitals, things like that, to where they can come work with us. It's a 6-week program, and then we make sure, again, it's important not to just stop use, it's how can you stay off drugs and how can you kind of, keep it. So, and again, similarly, that is forever. We have an alumni program, we never let you go unless you want us to stop working with you. And again, all that's free. And then the last piece kind of overlaps a little bit, but most of the programs that I mentioned before primarily are going to be for middle-aged, about 25 to I think our oldest member. We have someone in our housing services that has been in our 25 years, I want to say, living in our services. Yeah. But we also have what's called an emerging adults program. We understand that there's a big need, especially I would say kids. I'm a little older, so I can say that now. But 18 to 25-year-olds coming out of foster care with mental illness. There was a big need for that. It was actually one of the original groups that kind of merged, is working with these emerging adults is what it's called. So that program consists primarily of housing. There's 2 types of housing, both temporary and permanent. And then within the psychosocial day program, they have their own little subgroup where they're just with their peers and not with the older group. And again, that's grant funded, and there's no charge on that to anybody. So it's our mission to basically just be there for you to be able to help with that. We're the only, in the area that I know of, again, I've been with Park Center a little over a year at this point, we're the only agency that I'm aware of, that literally can start with ISA, meeting someone that's living on the street with mental illness and no hope of anything, no documents, no nothing, and be able to work with that individual, get them into a house, get them the recovery that they need, work on all the things that we talked about, and then help get them a job all under one roof. We don't have to, refer out or anything. So it's been a real pleasure working with Park Center. Like I said, I've been working here about a year. For me, it's personal. I have a pretty strong history of mental illness in my family, and we talk about it a lot. And I'm okay to share. My mother's sister, it was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 16, and I saw how much it affected her and her kids' lives and everything. And I remember when I was applying, and I first got the job, and I still do. I kept thinking wow, how would have Aunt Sharon's life been different if she would have had a Park Center? And I can tell you it would have been a lot different. So to close, I feel like it's important just to kind of, we have a lot of overlap, but when I was looking at those foundational base statements, there was a few that Park Center is at our core, right? So the idea of love, it's the foundation of everything that we start with. We are rooted in love and acceptance. You know, you saw that. We are a community of hope. That idea of interdependence. We understand. I say it a lot. It gets annoying to people, but that's the idea that it takes a village. You know, we're working on big issues and big things in the community, and no one person, no one agency can do it alone. You have to be able to work in the community to do that. This idea of justice and working with a diverse and multicultural, population. I mean, we're working with a population that is forgotten a lot. You know, marginalized and that sort of thing. The idea of generosity. I love that idea of the spirit of gratitude and hope. Again, it's in our tagline. We are a community of hope. And last is this idea of equity. We agree that everybody has an inherent worth and is deserving of the same kinds of supports, the same kinds of opportunities that any one of us can get. So I just really appreciate it. For all the reasons, I really appreciate you guys giving me a space to talk about the work we do. And yeah, just appreciate the time. Yeah.
Thank you.